Hi all, I'm back. In today's video, I have this Echo backpack blower here with a broken coil wire. So I'm going to be replacing the coil on this Echo backpack blower today. Now I'm going to try to teach you how to do it step by step so there's no confusion when doing it. Now all blowers are different, but it's generally the same concept with most Echo backpack blowers, at least for this size. So let's get to it. Real quick, let's go over the tools you'll need to complete this job. So what you'll need is some sort of way to drive out screws. I have an impact driver here. And then you'll need bits to go with it. These are Torx bits. Depending on if you have Torx bolts or Allen head bolts, you'll need the right bit for that. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver. Some way to take a spark plug out if that's a spark plug socket, a spark plug wrench, whatever works for you. Then you'll also need a business card to set the gap between the coil and the machine. So let's get started. Okay, your first step is to take your spark plug boot off. Now, there is no spark plug boot on this engine. Normally, it would look something like this, and it would be on there like that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab it by here, twist and pull up like that until your boot comes off. Don't try to rip it off because your metal piece inside your boot may come off. So all you have to do is twist and pull, and it comes off. And then from here, we're going to remove our spark plug. This is a 3/4 inch spark plug socket. I believe a 19mm will work for you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take the spark plug out. Okay, our spark plug is out. Okay, so your second step is to pop the cowling off of the back. Depending on your model, sometimes you have to take the pull start off as well. But this one you don't. There's 5 bolts holding that cover on. So using your driver or tool, whatever tool you have to remove those, go ahead and remove those. And make a pile and set them to the side. And you will have to be careful on some blowers because there is a bolt under this wire right down there. So that's going to be a tough one to get to. In order to get to that, just pop out your wire here and slide it over. And then you can get to that bolt like that. Once you have all your bolts out, you're going to want to go ahead and pull the cover off. But you want to make sure all the wires down here are out of the way. So just kind of get those out of the guides. And then just start to pull your cover off, like that. And then at the top, you're normally going to have a wire here, so you're going to want to pop that wire out. Obviously, this one is in pieces. Pop it out of here too, and then your cover will come right off, and you go ahead and set that aside. Okay, with that cover off, you're going to want to go to the bottom of the pull start to this cover here. Now, I put a block of wood under there just to prop it up, just for the video. You don't have to do that as long as you can still see it. But right here, this cover, there is a Phillips head screw there. Take your Phillips head screwdriver and take that screw out. And once that screw's out, you can go ahead and pry on the cover, and it will come off. And you now have access to your coil. Okay, so from here, you're going to want to go ahead and take these 2 screws out, holding the coil in with your Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, go ahead and set these screws aside. And then from here, pop your wire out, and your coil should come right out of there. From here, you're going to want to go ahead and unplug your one wire, like that, and then take your wire all the way from up here and feed it out. And from there, there's a zip tie here. Depending on how large the zip tie is, you may want to cut it. But in my case, I actually think I do need to cut it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the zip tie. And slide your old coil out. And throw it in the garbage. Now note, if you are using an OEM coil, you are going to want to have to slide this piece off here. Also, you're going to want to take this grommet off regardless of what kind of coil you're using. Like that. Now normally if you buy a coil from Echo, it'll just have the coil and the wire. No plug boot, no nothing. But this coil, fortunately, has the plug boot and it has everything on it ready to assemble. So right away, I'm just going to go ahead and put this grommet back on. And then from here, you're going to want to go ahead and turn the engine until the magnets are exposed on the flywheel. So I'm going to pull the rope right until the magnets are exposed. So you see there's the magnets right there. Try not to get confused with the other side. This side, it looks like there may be magnets there, but there's no actual magnets there. So turn it until you see the side with the magnets there, right like that. And center it if you can. And then from here, take your business card and just slide it like this. While doing that, you're going to want to go ahead and place your coil in. There's only one obvious way it'll go. It's got to be like this. The wire's coming out where the groove is, and the two holes line up. And just make sure that stays in there well and the holes line up. It should stick to the magnets inside, so you shouldn't have to worry about holding the coil. And then from here, go ahead and put your two screws in loosely. Don't tighten them down. And then from here, give a little bit of pressure onto the back of the coil, just a little bit, and screw your coil down somewhat tight. And then fully tighten it. Okay, my coil is now tight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my business card, give it a little bit of a pull up, and pull on the rope while I'm pulling on my business card. And it should slide out. Now my business card is quite weak, and it may break, so I'm not sure if it'll slide out, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Okay, so I was able to get my business card out. Now I did rip it, but you're going to have to expect that because typically you don't get a lot of life out of them. So now what you're going to want to do is take your grommet here. It did fall off for me, but I have to slide the grommet into the wire. And with that main wire in, you're going to want to go ahead and slide the ground wire in like that. And then after you slide your grommet back on, if it fell off, go ahead and plug your ground wire back into the coil, the new coil. And then take your grommet and position it where it's supposed to be. But right before you put it in, put your ground wire in. And then push your grommet into the slot. Okay, now it may still be a little bit loose right here, but we still have that other cover to put on. So it's okay. And from here, take your black cover, go ahead and slide it back on, making sure it lands on the grommet. Okay, so it's in the grommet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Phillips head screw, put it back in. Okay, from here, I tilted the blower back up, and I'm going to run the wire up here, around here, and rest it here for now. And from here, I'm going to want to go ahead and put my cowling back on. Now, doing that, I have to slide the pull cord through the pull start, and I have to slide the coil wire through like this. So it's positioned like that. Now, as I mentioned before, there are two wires here that are under the blower that you're going to have to move out of the way in order to get the cover back on. Okay, now that those wires are out of the way, I can strap it down. Same 6 bolts. Okay, so from here, you're going to want to go down to the bottom where the wires were. Okay, so here are my wires. This is the coil wire we just installed right here. You're going to want to go ahead and put that in your little bracket right there. And then these 2 wires you can put there as well, just to rest there. And then if you want to go ahead and put a zip tie there again, feel free, you can go ahead and do that. And then your last step is to take your spark plug. Go ahead and put your spark plug back in. And put your boot back on. And you're done with the repair. You've successfully replaced your coil on your Echo backpack blower. I hope this video helped you guys. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns with the way I did things. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Now I actually don't know if it runs, so let's see if it starts. It seems that there's another problem with this blower besides the coil, so I'm going to have to investigate. Now, let's see if it'll at least pop off. It's got mad compression, so that's not our issue. Whew. I think I hydraulicked it for a little bit. There we go. Well, we got ourselves a runner. Looks like that coil fixed it. See you on the next one.